Today, we're bringing the 25 spookiest Texas legends back to life. Number 25. Chupacabra. In the dusty stretches of South Texas, a strange creature began haunting the land in the 1990s, one that left livestock drained of blood and ranchers puzzled and afraid. They called it the Chupacabra, or goat sucker, after finding goats and chickens mysteriously dead, their bodies untouched, but for strange puncture marks. While the legend first gained fame in Puerto Rico, it found a new and lasting home in Texas, where stories of this beast became part of the state's modern folklore. Descriptions vary, but many witnesses claim to see a creature like nothing they'd ever encountered. Hairless, gray-blue skin, sharp teeth, and glowing red or yellow eyes. Some believed it was reptilian, walking on two legs like a kangaroo with spines along its back. Others described it more like a sick coyote or a wild dog with mange, moving quickly and silently in the night. What they all agreed on was the eerie way animals were found. No signs of a struggle, no spilled blood, just clean wounds and complete silence. Experts eventually said the sightings were likely due to coyotes or foxes with severe mange, a skin disease that makes animals appear unnatural and even monstrous. But locals weren't convinced. Ranchers told stories of hearing strange screeches at night and finding prints that didn't match any known animal. Grainy photos and blurry videos only added to the mystery, keeping the legend alive across small towns and quiet farms throughout the state. Today, the Chupacabra remains one of Texas's most well-known cryptids. Whether it was real, mistaken identity, or something in between, the fear it caused was very real. And in the still, dark hours before dawn, some ranchers still double-check their fences and scan the fields, just in case the Chupacabra hasn't gone away after all. Number 24. El Muerto. In the lawless borderlands of 19th century Texas, a terrifying legend began with justice and ended in horror. A horse thief named Vidal had been terrorizing ranches between San Antonio and the Rio Grande. But when he was finally caught by Texas Rangers and local ranchers, they decided to send a message. They executed Vidal, took his head, and tied his body upright to a wild Mustang. With his sombrero in his chest, they let the horse run loose into the brush. Soon after, riders and travelers began to report a horrifying sight: a headless man galloping across the plains under the moonlight. Some said the figure groaned. Others claimed the Mustang screamed like it carried a demon. The ghostly rider terrified communities as far west as Laredo, and when the horse was finally caught weeks later, the rotting body was buried. But the fear did not fade, and neither did the sightings. People still claimed to see the rider long after Vidal was laid to rest. Over time, the story transformed from a warning to a ghostly legend. Ranchers told tales of a glowing, headless horseman who appeared on stormy nights or around lonely trails. Some claimed to find hoofprints that ended in the middle of nowhere. Others said they felt a sudden chill or heard pounding hooves when no one else was around. The creature became known as El Muerto, the dead one, a ghost born from revenge and punishment. To this day, El Muerto remains one of Texas's most chilling legends. Whether he is a restless spirit, a cursed outlaw, or just the echo of a violent time, the image of a headless rider thundering through the night still grips the imagination. In the wide, lonely plains of South Texas, Some believe he still rides, and they watch the horizon with caution when the wind begins to howl. Number 23, Donkey Lady. Not far from the city lights of San Antonio, a twisted figure is said to haunt a quiet stretch of Applewhite Road. She's known as the Donkey Lady, a woman whose tragic story turned her into something monstrous. According to legend, she was badly burned in a fire long ago, either at the hands of a cruel husband or a group of angry townsfolk. Her skin was melted and scarred, and her face so disfigured it was said to resemble that of a donkey. With her hands fused into twisted shapes, she fled into the woods, never to be seen, alive, again. But soon after, strange sightings began near a small bridge outside town. Travelers reported hearing screams like a woman mixed with an animal. Some claimed to see a hunched figure with long ears and glowing eyes, watching from the trees. One well-known story tells of a group of teenagers who taunted the Donkey Lady and then fled in fear when something heavy jumped onto their car. When they stopped, they found the roof crushed and claw marks across the windows. Some say she's a spirit, cursed to wander in pain. Others believe she became something more, a creature born of fire and rage, who punishes those who cross her path. The bridge became a local hotspot for ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and curious teens. Many who visit claim they hear strange hooves, feel something watching, or return to their cars to find new scratches that weren't there before. Today, the Donkey Lady remains one of Texas's most enduring and eerie legends. Parents warn their kids about wandering near that bridge after dark, and those who visit say it's more than just a story. In the stillness of the night, where the trees grow thick and the water runs slow, something waits in the shadows, something that remembers the fire, the pain, and the face no one could forget. Number 22, Ghosts of the Alamo. The Alamo is one of the most iconic landmarks in Texas, known for its role in the 1836 battle where nearly 200 Texan defenders lost their lives. But beyond the history and heroism, the Alamo is also considered one of the most haunted places in the state. Just days after the battle, soldiers returning to the site claimed to encounter something strange, ghostly figures guarding the ruins. According to early accounts, Mexican troops attempting to destroy the remaining walls fled in fear after seeing spectral warriors with flaming swords standing watch. As the years passed, strange happenings at the Alamo became more common. Visitors and staff have reported the sound of phantom footsteps, the clash of metal, and whispering voices echoing in the chapel. Some say they've seen a tall figure in a dark coat, possibly the spirit of a commander still walking his post. Others report seeing a young boy in period clothing, vanishing when approached. Even at night, the Alamo seems alive, as if it's still guarding something sacred. Many believe the spirits of those who died there remain tied to the mission, unwilling to leave the ground where they fought so bravely. The old stone walls hold memories of sacrifice, and those emotions seem to echo through time. Paranormal investigators have picked up unexplained readings, and even skeptics leave with a chill after dark. Some believe these ghosts aren't angry, just proud, protective, and eternal. Today, the Alamo draws millions of visitors each year, but it's more than just a historic site. It's a place where the past still whispers, where silence carries the weight of battle, and where the brave are never truly forgotten. And if you visit after sunset, listen closely. You might just hear the ghosts of Texas standing guard. Number 21, La Llorona. In the quiet towns and riverbanks of Texas, especially near the Rio Grande, the legend of La Llorona continues to send chills through generations. Her name means the weeping woman, and her story is one of sorrow, regret, and haunting cries in the night. According to legend, La Llorona was once a beautiful woman who, consumed by grief or jealousy, drowned her children in a moment of rage. Realizing what she had done, she threw herself into the river, but instead of finding peace, she was cursed to wander forever, weeping for the children she lost. Witnesses claim to hear her cries late at night, "Ay, mis hijos," echoing along the water's edge. She's often described as wearing a long white dress, her dark hair hiding her face. Some say she drifts just above the ground, while others insist she walks slowly, searching, calling out for children. In some versions of the tale, she lures people toward the water, especially children, mistaking them for her own. The legend of La Llorona has deep roots in Mexican and Tejano culture and has been passed down for generations as both a warning and a mystery. Parents have long told the story to keep children from wandering near rivers at night, but even adults report eerie sightings, shadowy figures along the river, sudden cold breezes, and soft crying that comes from nowhere. Whether she is ghost, spirit, or legend, her presence feels real to those who have heard her. Today, La Llorona remains one of the most powerful and enduring ghost stories in Texas. She is a symbol of grief and a reminder that some emotions are too strong to rest, and in the stillness of a Texas night, by a quiet river, her weeping might still be carried by the wind, warning all who hear her to keep their distance from the water's edge. Number 20, Marfa Lights. Out in the wide open desert near Marfa, Texas, mysterious lights have danced along the horizon for well over 100 years. Known as the Marfa Lights, these glowing orbs have puzzled settlers, scientists, and travelers alike. They appear at night, flickering, floating, and even darting across the dark sky, often described as white, red, or orange in color. The first known sighting was in the late 1800s, when a cowboy noticed lights moving through the Chinati Mountains and thought they were Apache campfires. Over the decades, many people tried to explain the phenomenon. Some blamed distant car headlights, others thought it might be reflections, gases, or atmospheric tricks. But none of the scientific theories quite match what so many people have seen with their own eyes. The lights move in ways that seem to defy logic, splitting into two, disappearing suddenly, or hovering without a source. There are no roads or buildings where the lights appear, just empty land and endless sky. Local legends have grown over time. Some believe the lights are the spirits of lost travelers, while others say they are the souls of native warriors watching over their land. Ghost stories aside, the lights remain a part of Marfa's identity. A special viewing area was even built along Highway 90, where visitors gather nightly, hoping to catch a glimpse of something unexplainable in the sky. To this day, the Marfa Lights remain one of Texas's most enduring mysteries. No one knows for sure what they are or why they appear, but those who've seen them say it's something they'll never forget, a silent dance of lights in the desert that reminds us how much wonder still lives in the land. Number 19. Lake Worth Monster. In the summer of 1969, something strange appeared near Lake Worth in Fort Worth, Texas, a creature that would become one of the state's most bizarre legends. It was first spotted by a group of teenagers who claimed a large, white, goat-like monster jumped onto their car and tried to grab one of them. The creature, they said, was covered in scales and fur, had a foul smell, and stood over 7 feet tall. The news made headlines, and the Lake Worth monster, also called the Texas Goatman, was born. Over the following days, more sightings poured in. One couple said they saw the creature hurl a tire at them from a bluff near Greer Island. Another man snapped a blurry photograph that showed a large figure near the water. People began camping out at the lake, hoping to catch a glimpse. Police investigated but found nothing. Still, the fear and fascination spread, turning the quiet lake into a hub of curious thrill seekers. Some believe the Lake Worth monster is simply a hoax or the result of a wild animal seen in poor lighting. Others think it might be an unknown cryptid, similar to Bigfoot or the Goatman legends found in other parts of the country. The story faded for a while, but interest returned over the years as new sightings were reported, always near the same area, always with the same strange details. Today, the legend of the Lake Worth monster remains a favorite in Texas folklore. A festival is even held in its honor. Whether it was a prank, a creature, or something supernatural, the story left its mark. And if you find yourself near Greer Island after dark, you might want to keep your eyes on the woods, just in case something is still watching. Number 18. Emily Morgan Hotel. Just across the street from the Alamo in downtown San Antonio stands the elegant and historic Emily Morgan Hotel, a place known as one of the most haunted buildings in Texas. Built in 1924 as a medical facility, it once housed doctors' offices, surgical rooms, and even a psychiatric ward. After being converted into a hotel, strange things began happening almost immediately. Guests reported eerie whispers, cold spots, and even apparitions roaming the halls at night. One of the most active areas is the 12th floor, which once served as a hospital's surgical floor. Visitors have described waking up to the smell of antiseptic, seeing shadowy figures at the foot of their beds, or hearing distant moaning in the halls. On other floors, guests have heard phones ringing in empty rooms, or seen women in long dresses who vanish when approached. Some even say the elevators move on their own, or stop on the wrong floor with no one inside. The hotel is named after Emily D. West, a woman connected to the Texas Revolution, and the inspiration behind the song, "The Yellow Rose of Texas." Though there's no proof that her spirit haunts the building, her name adds to the mystique. Many guests who stay at the hotel come specifically for the ghost stories, hoping to experience something for themselves. Whether you're a history buff or a paranormal believer, the Emily Morgan Hotel offers more than just a place to sleep. With its stunning Gothic architecture and eerie reputation, it's a place where the past feels alive. And maybe, just maybe, something else walks the halls after midnight. Number 17. Ozark Howler. Though its name suggests otherwise, the Ozark Howler has been reported in East Texas for decades, especially near the Arkansas border. Described as a large, dark beast with glowing red eyes and horns like a ram, the creature is said to let out a terrifying, deep howl that echoes through the woods. Some say it looks like a cross between a bear, a big cat, and a wild boar. Too strange to fit into any known species. Whatever it is, its roar is what makes it unforgettable. The howler first entered Texas folklore in the mid-20th century, when hunters and farmers began reporting eerie cries in the night, unlike any local animal. They spoke of eyes watching from the brush and strange tracks that disappeared mid-trail. Over time, stories spread of people spotting the creature, standing on cliffs, or running through the forest faster than any known animal. Despite attempts to find proof, no one has ever caught it on camera or tracked it successfully. Skeptics say the Ozark Howler could be a misidentified cougar or black bear, animals known to roam East Texas. Others believe it may be a spirit or a warning beast, a creature that appears during times of disaster or unrest. The howl itself is so strange that even wildlife experts struggle to explain it. For locals, the mystery adds a touch of fear and excitement to the deep woods around them. Whether a living animal or something from legend, the Ozark Howler continues to stir curiosity and caution. Campers near the border still talk about hearing unearthly cries in the distance. And if you ever find yourself alone in the East Texas woods at night, listen closely. You may hear something that doesn't want to be found. Number 16. Bear King of Marble Falls. In the year 1901, a strange and shocking story came out of Marble Falls, Texas, one that has lived on as the tale of the Bear King. According to newspaper accounts at the time, a young girl was kidnapped by a massive, hairy creature believed to be half man, half bear. She was found days later in a cave, unharmed but frightened, and claimed the beast had taken care of her and meant no harm. The event set the small town abuzz and sparked headlines across the state. Locals organized hunting parties to track the creature, but it vanished without a trace. Some said it was a wild animal. Others believed it was an unknown species, or even a gentle giant living in secret. A few thought it might have been a feral person who had lived in the woods for years. Whatever the truth, the story caught the public's imagination, and the name Bear King stuck. Sightings of large, hairy figures in the woods were soon linked to the creature. Over time, the legend faded but never disappeared. It became a campfire story, part mystery, part warning. Hunters occasionally reported strange encounters, and the story was passed down through generations in Marble Falls. Some say the Bear King still roams the hill country, watching from the trees and avoiding the world that once hunted him. Today, the Bear King of Marble Falls is remembered as one of Texas's strangest legends, part Bigfoot, part fairy tale, and part mystery. And while no one has seen him in years, the cave still exists, and the story still echoes through the hills. In a state full of strange creatures, the Bear King holds his place among the most unforgettable. Number 15. Texas Blue Dog. Across the backroads of South Texas, a strange creature has made headlines and puzzled ranchers for years: the Texas Blue Dog. The legend began in the early 2000s when ranchers started reporting sightings of a hairless, dog-like animal with gray-blue skin, glowing eyes, and a stiff, unnatural way of moving. These creatures didn't bark, and more than once they were blamed for killing chickens, goats, and other small animals. Unlike coyotes or wolves, they left behind strange tracks and often showed no fear of people. Some ranchers managed to shoot the animals, and the bodies were sent to biologists for testing. Most turned out to be coyotes or wild dogs suffering from a severe case of mange, a skin disease that causes hair loss and makes the animals look alien and disturbing. Still, many Texans weren't convinced. The blue dogs, they said, looked too strange, moved too differently, and behaved in ways no ordinary animal would. The debate between science and legend only made the mystery grow. The blue dog became so well known that it was often confused with the Chupacabra, another creature blamed for animal deaths across the region. But unlike the vampire-like Chupacabra, the blue dog was something people could see and sometimes even catch. It became a symbol of Texas's wild unknown, a reminder that strange things still roam the countryside. News stations, newspapers, and curious locals all wanted to catch a glimpse of one for themselves. Today, the legend of the Texas blue dog still lingers. Though experts may call it explained, sightings haven't stopped. Whether it's a creature of disease, myth, or something yet to be discovered, the blue dog has earned its place in Texas lore. And for those driving through the back roads late at night, every shadow crossing the headlights still sparks the question, what if it's one of them? Number 14, Light of Saratoga. In the dense forests of East Texas, between the towns of Saratoga and Bragg, a narrow dirt path winds through the big thicket. It's known as Bragg Road, and for generations, people have traveled it in search of one thing, the mysterious light of Saratoga. The legend says that on dark, quiet nights, a glowing light appears in the distance. It bobs, weaves, and sometimes vanishes before blinking back into view. Locals say it's not from cars or flashlights. It has no source, yet it keeps coming back. The story goes back to the early 1900s when a railroad once ran through the area. According to legend, a railroad worker died in a tragic accident, and the light is said to be his lantern, still swinging as he searches for his missing head. Others say it's the ghost of a lost traveler or a Civil War soldier, while some believe it's a natural phenomenon caused by swamp gases or moisture in the air. But none of those explanations feel quite right to those who've seen it with their own eyes. Over the years, thrill seekers, ghost hunters, and curious families have driven down Bragg Road hoping to witness the light. Some see nothing, while others describe it as a bright white or greenish glow that floats just ahead of their car, always out of reach. People have tried to chase it, photograph it, and even block it, but the light always disappears before it can be explained. It's become one of Texas's most famous ghost lights, and one of its most frustrating mysteries. Today, the road is still open, and the legend lives on. The big thicket is full of strange sounds and eerie beauty, but it's the light of Saratoga that keeps drawing people back. Whether it's a restless spirit or just the land playing tricks, the light refuses to fade. And for those brave enough to travel Bragg Road at night, they just might find themselves followed by a glow that never leaves. Number 13, Houston Batman. In the summer of 1953, something strange happened in Houston, Texas, something that still defies explanation. A man named Hilda Walker and two other witnesses reported seeing a massive creature perched on a tree branch outside her home. It was described as a humanoid figure with bat-like wings, glowing eyes, and standing over 6 feet tall. With one powerful motion, the figure spread its wings and flew silently into the night sky. The press dubbed it the Houston Batman, and the story spread like wildfire. The sighting made the newspapers, and though no one else reported seeing the creature afterward, it quickly became a local legend. Some believed it was a hoax or a misidentified bird, but others thought it might be connected to the wave of Mothman-style sightings happening in other parts of the country. The fact that 3 people saw it at the same time and described it so similarly gave the story credibility that made it hard to ignore. The Houston Batman was never seen again, but its short-lived appearance left a lasting mark. It became part of Texas folklore, especially among fans of the strange and unexplained. Some have tried to tie the sighting to UFO activity or secret government experiments, but no solid answers have ever emerged. It remains one of the most puzzling cryptid encounters in Texas history, not violent or threatening, but mysterious and unforgettable. Today, the tale of the Houston Batman lives on through retellings, paranormal documentaries, and curious researchers still asking what really happened that night. Whether it was a visitor from another world, a flying creature never identified, or simply a trick of the shadows, the legend reminds us that sometimes the weirdest stories are the ones with the most witnesses and the fewest explanations. Number 12, USS Lexington. Docked in Corpus Christi Bay, the USS Lexington is more than just a historic World War II aircraft carrier. It's also home to one of Texas's most famous ghost stories. Nicknamed the Blue Ghost for its unusual blue-gray color and its uncanny ability to reappear after being declared sunk multiple times during the war, the ship gained a reputation for survival. But after becoming a museum in 1992, it also gained something else: whispers of strange sounds, moving shadows, and ghostly figures roaming its massive steel decks. Visitors and staff have reported eerie experiences throughout the ship. Some hear doors slamming on their own, or voices echoing through empty hallways. Others describe encounters with a friendly sailor dressed in a World War II-era uniform who offers directions, only to vanish moments later. He's been nicknamed Charlie, and many believe he's a spirit still standing watch over the vessel. Paranormal investigators who've toured the Lexington claim to have recorded unexplained footsteps, electronic voice phenomena, and sudden temperature drops. Much of the activity is centered around the lower decks, especially near the engine rooms and medical bay. These areas saw heavy use during battle, and many believe the energy from those intense days still lingers. While no major battle ever sank the ship, many sailors served and died aboard her during fierce Pacific campaigns, and it's said their spirits may have stayed behind with the ship they once called home. Today, the USS Lexington draws thousands of visitors each year, both for its rich history and for its reputation as one of the most haunted warships in America. Whether you come for the naval legacy or for the ghost stories, one thing is certain: the Blue Ghost hasn't stopped making waves, even decades after its last battle. Number 11, Wampus Cat. Deep in the piney woods of East Texas, a strange creature has long stalked the edge of campfires and crept through the dreams of those who live near the forest. It's called the Wampus Cat, a part beast, part spirit legend, said to be half woman and half mountain lion. According to Cherokee folklore, the Wampus Cat was once a woman who broke tribal rules and spied on a sacred ceremony. As punishment, she was transformed into a creature doomed to roam the woods alone. Descriptions of the Wampus Cat vary, but most agree on a few things: glowing yellow eyes, razor-sharp claws, and a scream that chills you to the bone. Hunters have reported hearing strange cries in the night, like a woman weeping or a big cat snarling. Others claim to have seen her, a powerful feline figure with human-like movements, vanishing into the trees before anyone could get close. Livestock deaths and eerie tracks have often been blamed on her. While some say the Wampus Cat is just a regional version of Bigfoot or a misidentified cougar, her story runs deeper. To many, she's not just a creature of the woods, but a symbol of warning, of sorrow, and of respect for ancient rules. In rural communities, especially in East Texas, the legend has been passed down for generations. Children are told to behave, or the Wampus Cat might come calling after dark. Today, the Wampus Cat remains one of the South's most fascinating pieces of folklore. Whether she's a real creature, a spirit, or a myth with meaning, her presence still lingers in the deep woods. And if you ever find yourself walking alone in the Texas forest and hear a low growl behind you, it might be best not to look back. Number 10. White Lady of Rio Frio. In the quiet beauty of the Rio Frio region in South Texas, a chilling ghost story has survived for more than a century: the tale of the White Lady. Her name was Maria Juarez, a young woman from a respected family who was tragically murdered in the early 1900s. According to local legend, Maria's jealous brother shot her in a fit of rage, believing she had fallen in love with the wrong man. She died near the banks of the Frio River, wearing her white Sunday dress. Since that day, countless people have claimed to see her spirit wandering near the water. Dressed in flowing white, she appears most often at dusk or in the early morning mist. Ranchers have seen her standing motionless by the river. Travelers describe a soft, glowing figure walking along dirt roads before fading into the trees. Some believe she protects lost children, offering comfort to those who wander too far from home. Over time, the legend of the White Lady of Rio Frio has taken on a comforting tone despite its sad beginnings. She's not a vengeful ghost, but a gentle one, watching over families and guiding the lost. Locals still speak of her with both fear and respect. Some say they've heard her humming softly near the water, a lullaby only the river seems to understand. Today, her story remains a part of the region's identity. The Rio Frio runs quiet and cold, and its shores are still, but those who visit often feel as though they are not alone. Whether she's a memory of love, loss, or protection, the White Lady continues to haunt the land, a graceful figure in white who never really left. Number 9. Children with dark eyes. In towns across Texas, from the Panhandle to the Hill Country, people have shared eerie stories of mysterious visitors who knock on doors late at night. They look like children, pale skin, dark hair, quiet voices, but their eyes are completely black, with no whites at all. These are the dark-eyed children, a modern urban legend that has grown into one of the creepiest stories in Texas folklore. The encounters usually start the same way: a knock at the door and a child asking to be let in. Witnesses say the children speak politely, but there's something strange about their words. Robotic, out of place, and deeply unsettling. They never look up at first, but when they do, their pitch-black eyes seem to freeze people in fear. Often those who open the door feel overwhelmed by dread, nausea, or confusion. The children insist they can't come in without permission, and when refused, they become more demanding, before disappearing without a trace. No one knows exactly where the black-eyed children legend began, though reports started appearing in the 1990s. Some think they're ghosts, aliens, or demons in disguise. Others believe they're the result of internet storytelling gone viral. Still, the number of consistent reports across Texas and beyond has kept the legend alive. People who experience these visits are often left shaken and unsure of what they saw, but certain it wasn't just imagination. Today, the black-eyed children are the subject of podcasts, books, and local lore, but the unease they bring is very real. Whether they're real beings or just the stuff of nightmares, the stories share one clear warning. If a strange child ever knocks on your door and asks to come in, don't say yes. Number 8. Bayview Cemetery, White Lady. Nestled along Ocean Drive in Corpus Christi is Bayview Cemetery, a historic graveyard that dates back to the 1800s and is said to be the home of a ghostly woman in white. Locals call her the Bayview Cemetery White Lady, and her presence has been reported for generations. According to legend, she is the spirit of a young woman who died tragically, possibly from heartbreak or illness, and now walks the cemetery grounds at night, searching for peace or someone she left behind. Visitors who pass by at night have reported seeing a faint, glowing figure drifting among the headstones. She's often described as wearing a long, flowing white gown and moving silently under the moonlight. Some say she appears near the oldest graves, while others have seen her closer to the gates, almost as if she's waiting for someone to return. Despite her ghostly nature, the White Lady is not known to harm anyone, only to appear and vanish without a sound. The cemetery itself holds deep history, with graves of early settlers, soldiers, and notable figures from Texas's past. Over the years, both locals and tourists have claimed to hear soft weeping or feel a sudden chill when walking near certain plots. Some even say they've seen the White Lady standing near a specific grave before fading into the night. Her identity is still debated, but her legend has remained strong for over a century. Today, Bayview Cemetery continues to draw curious visitors hoping to catch a glimpse of the mysterious woman. Whether she is a lingering soul, a symbol of grief, or simply a story passed down through generations, the White Lady has become a lasting part of Corpus Christi's haunted history, a graceful figure still walking between the living and the dead. Number 7. Bigfoot. In the dense forests of East Texas, especially in the Piney Woods region, there have been sightings of something large, hairy, and elusive for decades. Known as the Texas Bigfoot, or the Texas Sasquatch, this creature is said to resemble the famous Bigfoot of the Pacific Northwest, standing around 7 to 8 feet tall, covered in thick hair, and able to move silently through the woods. Unlike typical legends, these sightings often come from hunters, hikers, and even law enforcement officers. Reports of the Texas Sasquatch go back to Native American oral traditions, where similar creatures were said to dwell in the deep forest and avoid human contact. In modern times, People have claimed to see the creature crossing roads, hiding behind trees, or leaving behind huge footprints. Some have even described a strong, foul odor in the air just before a sighting, a detail that shows up in many Bigfoot encounters across the country. Texas is home to more reported Bigfoot sightings than most people realize, especially in areas like Sam Houston National Forest and the Big Thicket. There's even an annual Texas Bigfoot Conference held in Jefferson, where researchers and eyewitnesses gather to share stories, photos, and theories. Though no one has ever captured one, the consistency in descriptions keeps the legend alive. Skeptics blame bears or misidentified animals, but believers insist something more mysterious is out there. Today, the Texas Sasquatch continues to stir curiosity. Whether it's an undiscovered species, a legend born from fear, or a misunderstood creature hiding in plain sight, the mystery remains unsolved. And if you ever find yourself deep in the East Texas woods at dusk, you might want to listen for branches snapping, because something just might be watching from the trees. Number 6. Prescidio Labia. In Goliad, Texas, stands one of the most important and haunted sites in Texas history, Prescidio Labia. Originally built in the 1700s as a Spanish fort, it became a central location during the Texas Revolution. In 1836, after the Battle of Coleto, over 300 Texan prisoners were held at the Presidio under the command of Colonel James Fannin. They were later executed in what became known as the Goliad Massacre, one of the most tragic and sobering events in the fight for Texas independence. Since then, visitors and staff have reported strange and chilling activity within the Presidio's thick stone walls. At night, the air feels heavier, and many have heard phantom footsteps, the sound of weeping, or even distant gunfire when no one else is around. Some guests have seen shadowy figures walking the courtyard or caught glimpses of men in 1800s military uniforms vanishing into thin air. The chapel, where many of the men spent their last hours, is said to be especially active. Some of the most powerful reports come from guests staying overnight, as the site also operates as a guest house. Several have woken to hear muffled voices in Spanish or felt someone brushing past them in rooms known to be empty. Paranormal investigators have visited the site and recorded unexplained sounds and movements. Yet for many Texans, it's not about fear, it's about reverence. The energy that lingers is often described not as angry, but proud and sorrowful. Today, Prescidio Labia is both a historical landmark and a solemn reminder of the cost of freedom. Whether you're there for the history or the haunting, it's a place where the past is never far away. And as the sun sets over the old stone walls, the whispers of Texas's earliest heroes still seem to echo through the halls. Number 5. Laachuza. In the border towns of South Texas and northern Mexico, a terrifying legend has been passed down for generations, the story of Laachuza. Said to be a witch who transforms into a giant owl, Laachuza flies through the night, preying on those who cross her path. With a wingspan as wide as a man, is tall and piercing black eyes, she is most often seen during storms or near graveyards. Her eerie screech is said to mimic the cry of a baby, luring unsuspecting victims closer to danger. According to legend, Laachuza was once a woman who was wronged, either accused of witchcraft or harmed by her community. After her death, she returned as a powerful shapeshifter, half human and half owl. She hides during the day and hunts at night, especially targeting those who have done evil or disrespected the spirit world. In some stories, she attacks cars, scratches at windows, or flies beside vehicles, keeping pace as if to warn or terrify. Many people in South Texas claim to have seen or heard Laachuza. Reports include encounters with a large white owl that vanishes suddenly and unsettling sounds just outside windows late at night. Some families place salt around their doors or hang crosses to ward her off. Even law enforcement officers have shared tales of strange birds that seem too intelligent, too aggressive, and too unnatural to be just animals. Today, Laachuza remains one of the most chilling figures in Tejano and Mexican folklore. Whether she's a creature of vengeance, a warning spirit, or simply an old story told to keep people inside at night, her legend has lasted for centuries. And when the wind howls and the night grows quiet, some still listen for the cry of the owl, just in case she's near. Number 4. Ghost Riders of Devil's Gate. In the dusty plains near Amarillo, Texas, a strange rock formation known as Devil's Gate rises from the earth like a natural archway to another world. Local legend says it's not just a scenic spot, it's haunted by ghost riders. These are no ordinary spirits. They appear as a group of phantom cowboys on horseback, galloping across the horizon beneath the moonlight before vanishing into the rocks without a trace. For years, ranchers, travelers, and campers have told tales of hearing hoofbeats when no horses are near. The origin of the ghost riders is unclear, but many believe they are the spirits of cattlemen or outlaws who died in the area during the 1800s. Some say they were ambushed and killed while trying to flee justice, while others believe they were loyal cowboys who perished in a brutal storm and now ride forever through the Texas night. Witnesses report seeing dust swirl in perfect circles, hearing the crack of old-time whips, and spotting faint lantern lights moving across the brush. These sightings have continued for decades, always near Devil's Gate. Some visitors try to capture the riders on camera, but the images come out blurred or show nothing at all. Paranormal groups have investigated the area, reporting strange energy spikes and cold winds that seem to come from nowhere. Others claim they heard laughter, shouting, or old country music drifting through the wind. Despite all the stories, the riders never stop, and no one has ever gotten close. Today, Devil's Gate stands as both a natural wonder and a haunted place. Locals avoid the area at night, especially when the sky is clear and the wind is still, because when the conditions are just right, you might hear the thunder of hooves echoing through the canyon and see the ghost riders of Amarillo racing toward the gate once more. Number 3. The Candy Lady. In the quiet town of Terrell, Texas, a dark legend has taken root, the tale of the Candy Lady, also known as Clara Crane. Her story begins in the late 1800s when Clara was said to have poisoned her husband after their daughter died in a terrible accident. After being declared insane, she was locked away in an asylum. But when she vanished years later, strange reports began to surface. Children in the area spoke of a woman who left candy on windowsills and in school desks, treats that sometimes had notes hidden inside, asking them to come outside. According to legend, those who followed the notes disappeared. Some say the candy lady would lure them away and was never seen again. Over time, teeth were found on fences, and farmers claimed to discover candy wrappers near remote barns. Parents in Terrell began warning their children to stay away from strangers, especially if they offered anything sweet. The story grew into a terrifying bedtime tale, part cautionary warning, part real-life mystery. Though some historians argue that Clara Crane's story has been exaggerated, many residents claim the Candy Lady is more than just a ghost story. And even though nothing was ever proven, the chilling details continue to resurface. Witnesses have reported seeing a shadowy woman in old-fashioned clothing near empty houses or along dirt roads at night. Some say she's still searching for her daughter. Others believe she's looking for revenge. Today, the Candy Lady is a name whispered in Terrell with fear and fascination. Whether Clara Crane ever truly returned or became something more, the legend remains strong. And in the stillness of a country night, if you ever find candy left on your doorstep, you might think twice before picking it up. Number 2. Lady of White Rock Lake. Along the peaceful shores of White Rock Lake in Dallas, Texas, a beautiful yet heartbreaking spirit is said to walk, the Lady of White Rock Lake. She's often described as a young woman in a soaking wet white dress who flags down passing drivers near the lake. She asks politely for a ride home, usually saying she's been in an accident or needs help. But once inside the car, something strange happens. She disappears without a word, leaving only a puddle of water on the seat. The legend dates back to the 1930s and has been retold in many versions, but they all share the same core elements. Some believe she drowned in the lake on her wedding night. Others say she was the victim of a car crash. Despite the details, one thing is always the same. She's sad, silent, and gone before you can ask questions. Many people who've claimed to pick her up say they remember her face clearly, pale, calm, and distant. Over the years, the Lady of White Rock Lake has become one of Dallas's most well-known ghost stories. Locals and tourists alike still visit the lake hoping for a glimpse. Some leave flowers near the shoreline, believing it brings peace to her spirit. Others just drive slowly past the most common spots, especially during foggy nights, looking for any sign of movement near the water. While some say it's just a myth, too many similar encounters keep the mystery alive. Today, the Lady of White Rock Lake remains a quiet figure in Texas folklore. She's not out for vengeance or fear, only a ride home that she never finishes. And if you're driving near the lake after dark and see a young woman in white standing alone on the roadside, think twice before stopping, unless you're ready to give a ride to a ghost. Number 1. Harper Road Phantom. Just outside Corpus Christi, Harper Road cuts through farmland and brush, a quiet stretch with a haunted reputation. Locals have long whispered about the Harper Road Phantom, a ghostly figure seen wandering the roadside late at night. He's most often described as a man in ragged clothes, standing silently on the shoulder or walking with his head down. When drivers slow down or stop to help, he vanishes before their eyes. The legend says he was a truck driver who died in a crash along the road decades ago, possibly in the 1970s. Some versions say he was on his last delivery before retirement, while others believe he was searching for his missing family when the accident occurred. Either way, the area where he died is marked by unusual cold spots and sudden drops in phone signals, making it a favorite spot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. Drivers passing through have reported headlights flickering, strange shadows crossing the road, or a figure appearing in their rearview mirror. Some claim to see him sitting on the side of the road, holding his head in his hands. Others hear a low groan or whisper just as they pass the darkest part of the curve. But no matter the encounter, he always disappears before anyone can get a clear look. Today, the Harper Road Phantom remains one of South Texas's quietest but most unnerving ghost stories. He doesn't chase or scream, he just waits, stuck between where he was and where he was going. And for those driving the lonely road after midnight, he's a reminder that not every journey ends where it's supposed to. Now please tell us which legend did you like the most. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.